Welcome to Roll for Crit. Right now we are donning our masks and preparing to rob a bank because it's our Kickstarter preview for Bank Heist.
Yes, in this game you will be robbing a bank, but it is a hit and roll game, and not everyone is playing for the same team. There are three main teams in this game. There's the crew. They have that cool little tattoo at the bottom, and if they get any money cards, they must put it in the getaway vehicle. There's the rival gang. They can either put it in the getaway car or keep it for themselves, and they have to shoot when we get to the shooting phase. There's the agents. They are undercover, and they have to keep the money because they don't want the robbers to be able to get it, so they have to worry about that. But they also have some other abilities when we get to later phases. And finally, while it's still part of the crew, there is the sticky fingers. They actually also have to hold on to all the money because they're greedy.
They're greedy. I mean, that's what I would do.
Once everyone has their role, it's time to crack the vault, which is pretty much deciding who's the first player. What you do is you got your combination cards, all your single-digit numbers, and you're going to put out 3 because most locks have 3 combinations. You'll line them up, and first person to say the answer of all of them multiplied is the first player.
I don't think either of us are going to get this. I know I'm not going to get this one because I'm bad at math, and I'm not going to try to do all that right now. I can get 2 of them, any 2 of them.
Great.
If people aren't able to guess that, this actually moves along the tracker, and if people fail it enough times, the agents actually win straight out. So the agents could try to mess that up at least a couple of times, but hopefully that doesn't happen in your group, and you people can be good at math, unlike us. The agents and the rival gang will also know who their fellow members are at the start of the game, assuming that you're over a threshold of a certain amount of players, at least. That will happen, whereas the normal crew will be in the dark, and they're trying to figure out who is who exactly. So once you've got past that vault phase, you start off with the robbery phase. During this phase, one at a time, each player is going to draw a card from the top of this deck, and they're going to look at it, and then they have to give it to another player of their choice. Now, depending on what type of card it is, that player may be able to keep it, or they may have to put it somewhere else. Like we said, some cards will help you with later phases. They may let you attack players. Sometimes you will get a cash bag. That's really the most important thing because if you're crew, you want to put that on the truck. If you're an agent or a rival or the greedy person, you may have to keep it or want to keep it for yourself. And you go around, and during the first round of this phase, you're not allowed to speak. Everyone is quiet, so you can't discuss strategy or anything like that. You're just watching what people do with the cards that you give them and trying to figure things out. Once you've played out one full round, you start drawing these alarm cards. Everyone's allowed to speak now. The alarm has gone off. You're panicking. And before you do one of these, you're also going to take one of these alarm cards. These can have a lot of different interesting effects. You can put them in front of a player. There's a couple of the same one. But they may give players attributes that, again, will help them later on. A shotgun, that's going to be good for attacking, so you want to give that to someone you trust. Or they might be things that hurt people, harm them, or give them interesting choices, just so, again, you can try to figure out exactly what you think they're doing. Now, once this truck is completely filled with cash bags, it's got 5 in it, assuming that does happen. If it doesn't and enough rounds go by, again, the agents win. If it does, then you move on to the final phase, which is the getaway phase. And in that phase, you're actually going to be able to shoot at people. So on your turn, you're not taking cards and passing them. You're either taking an action from the cards that you have, or you're using your shoot ability to choose the player and try to shoot them. If you get shot, you're dead. Unless you're an agent, they have a bulletproof vest. If they get shot, they're revealed as an agent, and then they get the chance to fire back. So you have to be careful about who you want to shoot and why, and the ultimate goal is to get to the hideout, and if you're a crew member, you want only crew. If you're an agent, you want only agents.
And if you're a rival, you want to make sure you have 1 bag of money at least. You want to be able to get away with some loot.
Yeah, you have to actually bribe the driver at the end of the game, and if you don't, the crew just shoots you, and you don't win at all. If you do die, you are eliminated from the game, but it still counts as part of a win if the rest of your team wins.
Right.
So it's not the worst thing in the world. And in general, that's the very last round, so the player elimination is will just be for a short time at the end of the game. But that's basically the gist of it. There's also these handcuff cards over here. Agents can, if they are revealed, use those to stop someone, basically slow them down from playing cards for a minute. So that's another thing that they have in their tool belts. So a lot of it is all this kind of build up and prep for that final phase, which like I feel like a classic kind of heist movie kind of goes bang, 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 really fast. It could end in like 2 turns that one person just shoots everybody, which could have, I think, kind of happened with us in one of our games.
Well, part of the reason that can happen is that first phase is really where I think you can make some major decisions. One player, he gave a money bag to an agent. So he knew right off the bat those 2 people are agents, and he was not one, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you can really learn a lot or not that much.
Yeah, and sometimes you just have to hope for the best. In one game, I'm like, I'm pretty sure you're good, so I gave you like shotgun and 2 reloads, so you could just fire that off like.
Yeah, and it worked out. We were on the same team, so it was kind of nice. And sometimes you have to say, you know what, this may be something that results in my death, but it's like for the greater good of the team.
Right, and that's actually what happened, because we decided that it was best for you to shoot a guy next to me.
You were also poisoned.
To be fair, yes. I was already doomed to die. There's a lot of weird cards in here that like, you can become poisoned, you have a guilty conscience, so you actually help the agents if they reveal.
Yeah, you can like switch to the other side. Then there are things like, oh, my gun is jammed, but then there's a card that will unjam your gun. Or you might have a card that gives you a second shot on your turn. You get to shoot twice. So yeah, there's a lot of going back and forth and hoping you get good cards to play. It goes from 5 to 8 players. We actually managed to be able to play with a full 8, which is pretty exciting. Like I said, if you play with, I think it's under 7, then the different groups don't necessarily know who each other are. Or is. I don't know what grammar. I don't know math or grammar. All I know is robbing banks. And that's all you need to know for this game. So if you like hit and roll games, and this follows that kind of formula, but it's very quick and has a lot of different interesting card effects that will change up how things work for you. And depending on who you play with, it could be very interesting seeing what exactly people decide to do, filling up this truck with cash or not.
You can check out the Kickstarter, which should be running now, depending on when you watch this video, and see if you are willing to join their crew in supporting and creating this game. But until then, I'm Will.
I'm Jonathan.
And this has been a Roll for Crit preview.
Support our Patreon, like this video, and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss a thing.
Watch more of our content now to hold back Cthulhu's madness.